ほう、あなたは私の古代の秘密を学びたいですか？若いバッタ。
直接戦闘で私を倒すことができる唯一の人は、私の秘密を学ぶ価値があります。
学びたいですか？
それから、あなたが学ぶでしょう。あなたは本当に私があなたのような人のために転がると思ったの？愚か者。
これは私の最終的な形でさえありません。
私の特別な攻撃に備えてください。
何？
なん
No, you.
Die!
Living on a mountaintop sucks. My name is Pace Wade. I'm 18 years old, was born and raised in Buckeye, Arizona, and for my extended analogy, I chose various Batman movies. I did this because Batman is my favorite superhero, and some people would probably only choose one movie for their analogy, but I like aspects about all these different interpretations, and I think most of the movies are great in their own right. Each of these takes are great in their own way, but none of them capture everything that is Batman. So I think only covering one version would be limiting my scope. The structure of my analogy is entertainment. Batman was created for the sole purpose of entertaining children. And although he has matured over his long history,
Mommy, wow, I'm a big kid now.
Batman still only exists for the purpose of entertaining the audience. This relates back to me because I do everything I do in life based on what I think is most entertaining. Whether or not other people are entertained by my antics is a topic of much scholarly debate. The style of my analogy is Tim Burton's Batman. Now picture this. The year is 1989. You're an average moviegoer. You know Batman, but what you know is this.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
And you've known it for over 20 years. Hey yo, new Batman movie just dropped. You see, directed by Tim Burton, and you know Tim Burton's kind of a silly guy. He made Pee-wee's Big Adventure, so he's totally the right guy to put this on the big screen. So you watch it and... I'm Batman. Stupid! Now Batman's more famous than Santa. Tim Burton's utterly deranged style and his confidence in its expression made Batman the most influential Batman thing ever made, because it rebranded the character from a 60s goof to this in the public eye. This relates to me because of my streak of nonsensical antics done to get a rise out of people with no hesitation that always leave an impression.
In the darkest night.
The cohesion of my analogy is the Lego Batman movie. In between the gripping same-sex love story between Lego Batman and Lego Joker, Lego Batman must save Gotham from various Warner Brothers villains the target audience is too young to know about. But he only saved the city by working on a team for the first time to literally pull the city back together. This relates to me because of my time in varsity football. It was the first time I'd ever done a sport, and working in a team environment was uncomfortable for me. Eventually, I learned the best way to improve my skill was to compete with my fellow meathead. This drastically improved my skill to the point I was a starter on defense by the next season. But I wouldn't have gotten to where I did if I didn't have so much competition to be the best. The strength of my analogy is Batman 1966. The film was based on the TV show produced by one William Dozier. When initially creating the show, Dozier had no idea what to do, since he thought that the comic source material wasn't real art and just goofy garbage for children babies. Later, he got the idea to translate the comics to the silver screen as accurately as possible. Goofy, campy schlock that was funny for adults and utterly enthralling for kids. The show, and movie, were a breakaway success. much to the chagrin of angry comic book nerds who were horrified to see Batman turned into a joke. This relates to me because whenever I'm feeling stressed, I like to laugh at the absurdity of life in general to make my problems feel smaller and easier to solve. Also, like the show, not everybody thinks this is in good taste. The durability of my analogy is The Dark Knight. At the end of the film, Batman realizes saving the Joker's hostages is gonna get weird since the Clown has dressed the hostages up as his goons and his goons were dressed as the hostages. With a SWAT team breaking in, Batman doesn't have time to communicate with authorities. And while any dark, edgy hero might have just killed the SWAT team or the goons and called it a day, Batman just has to be that one guy to say, actually to flagrant murder. So to solve the problem and retain his morals, Batman thinks of a plan and non-lethally incapacitates the hostages, and the SWAT's about to open fire on the Clown. And I don't care what any of you say, this is one of the greatest action scenes in cinema history because of how unique the process of the hero fighting bad guys while trying not to kill them is, and how well it's executed, and if you say no, just make him blow him up with a hail of bullets, Zach! I swear to God! This relates to me because not only am I a specimen of peak male performance like Christian Bale, but with my year being stuffed with more crap than an industrial-sized diaper stress tester and pressure from all sides to change myself for the worse, I had to think and perform my responsibilities in an outside-the-box way so I could have my cake and eat it too. All throughout the year, people have been telling me to take things more seriously and stop messing around or I won't make it. Last I checked, I've survived everything that life's thrown at me without losing my identity. So take that, elders of my life dispensing their lived experiences and knowledge for free to make sure I don't make their same stupid mistakes. Who's laughing now? The direction of my analogy is the Batman. Pattinson's entire perspective on being Batman is fundamentally shifted from seeking vengeance on the guilty to giving hope to the innocent when he sees his approach as inspiring murderous criminals like the Riddler. This relates to me because I need to get serious for a minute. Cut the music. So you might not know this about me, but I was born with Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism, and basically neurologically wise, I'm built different. And for as long as I've been able to understand that, I have hated myself because of that, because I'm just not normal. And for several years, the primary motivation behind everything I did was just to look as normal as possible. I guess you could call it the structure of my life. I was miserable then. I thought everybody was judging me on a scale of normality, and I was really angry, and it was not fun. When I joined football in junior year, I didn't think I was going to last longer than a week, especially because my inner critic was blasting my brain with bad juju, negative vibes. For the first couple of weeks, my primary thing was just try and not look stupid, because looking stupid is weird and weird bad. But that wasn't getting me anywhere, so I stopped doing it because nobody cared. So when I stopped doing that, I shifted my focus to having fun, because, you know, football's a game, games are supposed to be fun, and just like, I started getting better at football. But I started having fun in my own unique way, making weird jokes, moaning whenever some guy like slapped me on the back during practice. But despite all of that, my inner critic almost got the best of me, and I tried to quit near the end of the season. And when I told the coaches that in like a team huddle at the end of practice, I got a response I wasn't expecting. I thought everybody there hated me, but no. Coaches said that it was really a very brave move of me to come forward about my issues. Other guys there said they loved having me around. And that moment right there, that changed my life. That was the moment I stopped focusing on being normal and just having fun with stuff. Wow, that was really emotionally loaded and poignant. I feel like we need to sit on this for a moment. Boy, I sure do hope nobody edits in a stupid bit to ruin the moment. So after high school, my plan is within a year I'll graduate from Westmec's Energy and Electrical Engineering course, and within 5 years I will be working full-time at Palo Verde Nuclear Power Plant. Do you want more? Because that's all I got. I actually have 3 pieces of advice, because I've already gone over the time limit, so I don't care. My first piece of advice, I couldn't summarize better than this analogy I made up like 5 minutes ago. The strongest swords are only forged when the ore is broken down and allowed to be reshaped by the blacksmith. Nailed it. First try. Let's go. My second piece of advice, which I only came up with while I was making this, is just have fun with whatever you're doing in life. You're going to be way more invested in it if you're having fun with it. I really hope that my effort and care in this presentation shows, because I enjoyed making this a lot. For my last piece of advice, it would be don't live your life with everything planned ahead of time. Have some gaps in your schedule that you can just fill with random happenstance or just like things you didn't know you wanted until you saw them. Because like the best experiences in your life are the ones you don't plan ahead of time, but you make the best of anyway. And I would say that football was a pretty unplanned event in my life.
And now for something completely different.
Literally the only things I had planned out for this video were the analogy itself and the idea of an anime spoof opening. That's it. Everything else, and I mean everything else, the dialogue, the script, the pictures I used, the music, hell, the editing software I used to make this, I figured that crap out all on my own with no kind of plan ahead of time. And that's probably why I had so much fun with this, is just figuring out how to do it. It might not have been the most optimal way, but I enjoyed it. That's why my life plan is like so bare bones, is because I just want to leave room for like everything else in my life I want to do or might want to do later. Like someday I might want to run for president, climb Mount Everest, hell, I might even want to pay my taxes. Who knows? Okay, that's it. I'm very tired now. I'm going to bed now. Goodbye.